Hello everyone, myself Jitendra Chaudhary. I'm working as an assistant professor in mechanical department of RNG Patel Institute of Technology, Bardoli. So I welcome you all to this wonderful journey of exploring a very interesting field of heat transfer. So today we will see uh, what is heat and temperature, the physical interpretation, and also the various mode of heat transfer. So first we will see phase of substance. Then this is a solid phase where all the molecules are closely packed. The molecules are fixed at their position. They are not allowed to move. Whereas in case of liquid, the intermolecular forces are weak. So molecules are allowed to move inside the volume. Whereas in case of gaseous substance, the intermolecular forces are the weakest. So molecules are moving with a very high kinetic energy. So if you compare all these three substance phase of substance, then this gaseous phase is a very high energy state of substance, whereas the solid is a very low energy state of substance. Now all these molecules or atoms are always in motion. So they possess this kinetic energy. So in case of substance, as they are not allowed to leave their place, so they only vibrate. So in case of solid, the kinetic energy is mostly a vibrational kinetic energy, whereas in case of liquid, the kinetic energy is in the form of vibrational kinetic energy and rotational kinetic energy. And in case of gaseous phase, they have all these three kinds of kinetic energy, but the large portion of kinetic energy falls under the category of translational motion. So all the substance, they possess three different types of kinetic energy, that is vibrational kinetic energy, rotational kinetic energy, and translational kinetic energy. Now if you want to measure the average kinetic energy of possessed by all the molecules, then if the kinetic energy is less, then we can feel a colder substance, whereas if the kinetic energy is very high, then we can feel that substance a hot. So basically a heat is average kinetic energy and potential energy of all the molecules of a substance. So that is the physical interpretation of heat. So heat is nothing but it is a kinetic energy possessed by all the substance. And if you want to measure the average kinetic energy, then we are measuring in terms of temperature. Now, when we supply a heat, then we can again divide this heat into two different heat. One is specific heat and second is latent heat. So now we'll see what is difference between specific heat and latent heat. So as we know, we have three or four different phases of substances: solid, liquid, and gas. And as we add heat, the solid substance, they after some time converts into liquid, and liquid again converts into gases. So for example, if a water is at 20 degrees centigrade, so we can call it as a equilibrium state 1. Means the 20 degrees centigrade is basically representation of a kinetic energy level 1. Now as we add heat, then where this all heat goes, so this all basically heat, they stored into these three pockets of say vibrational kinetic energy, rotational kinetic energy, and translational kinetic energy. So after the pockets are filled, the substance or say water, they reaches to a second equilibrium state. Now this second kinetic energy level 2, that can be represented by 21 degrees centigrade. So we can say that after adding some amount of heat, the water, it rise from 20 degrees centigrade to 21 degrees centigrade. So whatever the heat which is added to increase the temperature from say 20 degrees centigrade to 21 degrees centigrade is called as a specific heat. So by definition, we call the specific heat is defined as a heat required to raise the temperature by unit degree centigrade. So it is basically a heat stored into these three kinetic energies. So specific heat actually depends on the how complex the matter is. If the matter has more pockets or say deep pockets, then it takes more amount of heat to raise from 20 degrees centigrade to 21 degrees centigrade. So specific heat depends on the material, or it depends on the complexity of the matter. Now this is a phase change process of say water. So this is a solid or say ice, this is liquid, and this is a vapor or steam phase. So as we have discussed, whenever there is a change in temperature, those heat is basically called as a specific heat. So this all heat where the temperature changes when we supply heat, and if you see the rise in temperature, so this heat is basically called as a specific heat. So always specific heat is associated with change in temperature. But when there is a point reach beyond which if you supply heat, then there will be no change in temperature. So all this heat, they basically transferred or they utilize to change in the phase of substance. So here you can see the solid phase. When you supply heat, its temperature increases, but the phase remains same. But in this case, any small amount you supply, it utilize in changing the phase of substance, say from solid to liquid, and here also from say liquid to gas. So latent heat is basically a heat which is utilized to change the phase of any substance. So here you can see when any substance undergo a phase change, the temperature remains constant. So always, that is why it is called as a latent heat. Latent heat means it is a hidden heat which you cannot sense by rising temperature. So whatever the heat is added, if the temperature is not increasing, then those heat is called as a latent heat. Whereas in case of this heat, you can sense the heat is added by rise in temperature. So you can sense the rise in temperature. So that is why it is this specific heat is basically called as a sensible heat. So this is a sensible heat and this is a latent heat. Now we'll see mode of heat transfer. So first we will see a conduction mode of heat transfer. So mechanism of heat transfer is basically lattice vibration and free electrons. So all the heat, they basically transfer by vibrations only. The molecules does not move. So that phase is basically a solid. So in case of solid, whatever heat transfer takes place, that is basically a conductive or say conduction heat transfer. And the law of heat transfer is basically a Fourier's law, and the parameters are thermal conductivity, which is the material property, temperature difference, and area. If the conductivity is more, heat transfer will be more. If the temperature difference is more or say area is more, the heat transfer will be more. Now Fourier's law will look like this. So Q is equal to minus K area dt by dx. So for example, suppose if I have a duster and if I have to pass this duster from say first student to a student sitting at the last bench. So how this duster, which we can call it as a heat, it transfer from this place to this place. So suppose if I am not allowing the students to move from their bench, then this students can behave like a solid substance. So the student basically, first student will transfer duster to second student will transfer duster to third student. So duster will reach from first student to a last student while all the students are not moving from their position. So this kind of transfer of this duster or heat is basically called as a conduction or conductive heat transfer, where heat or say duster moves only because of these vibrations. Now in case of convective heat transfer, the mechanism of heat transfer is molecular motion. Now molecular motion is only allowed in liquid and gaseous. So all the heat transfer that occurs inside the liquid or gaseous phase, they are called as a convective heat transfer. And the law which governs the convective heat transfer is Newton's law of cooling. And the parameter associated are convective heat transfer coefficient H, temperature difference, area, density, and velocity. Now, if you have to understand more about convective heat transfer, suppose if you are leaving for an office or your institute and you want to drink a tea. So if you have a time, then what you will do is you allow this tea to cool down at a natural pace. That means the air flows naturally over the surface of the tea, and slowly or gradually the tea becomes cooled. The heat will transfer from this tea to the flowing air. But if you are in a hurry, then what you will do is you will blow air on this surface of the tea. So you are forcefully moving the air. So that is called as a forced convection. And if you are not, if the air is naturally moving over here, then those kind of convective heat transfer is called as a natural convection. And if you are blowing the air, then those kind of convective heat transfer is called as a forced convection. Now again, uh, if you want to cool down at a very rapid rate, then what we will do, you will flow air and also you will stir this tea. So you will get a faster rate of heat transfer and tea becomes cool at a faster rate. And again, if you want to increase the rate of heat transfer, then what you will do is you can pour this tea into this flat plate. So rate of you will increase the surface area from where the heat will lost into the surrounding. So what is our point here is the convection phenomena. You will have so many different occasions or so many different situations where you can study the convective heat transfer. So convective heat transfer basically depends on situations, say forced convection. If you have a natural convection or if you have forced convection, what is the velocity of this fluid, that is air, what is the velocity of this tea, what is the viscosity of tea, what is the viscosity of air, and so many parameters. So the convection is basically a complex phenomena. It is complicated to study than the conductive heat transfer. So convection heat transfer will look like this. Q is equal to HA, so surface temperature to fluid temperature. Now again, if I want to transfer this duster from this first student to a last student, then in case of convection, because this is a liquid or a gaseous phase, the students are allowed to move or allowed to leave their places. So what this student will do, it will take this heat or take this duster and pass it on to this student. And then again, this student can pass it to the last student. So here basically heat transfer major portion will be considered as a due to molecular motion. Now, in case of radiation, the mechanism of heat transfer is basically electromagnetic wave. Now, phase, you will not need any molecules to transfer heat. And the law of heat transfer is Stefan Boltzmann's law, and the parameters are temperature, the emissivity of surface, and the type of surface. So we can consider the sun and earth. So there is a vacuum or there is an empty space between sun and earth. Then also we are getting a solar radiation or heat that is flowing from the sun to the earth. So basically in case of radiation, we don't require any molecules. It can occur in vacuum also. So this is basically electromagnetic wave. So here basically the electric field, it produce magnetic field. Again, the magnetic field produce electric field. So that is how this wave gets propagated at the speed of light. So light is basically a electromagnetic wave. Now the law is Stefan Boltzmann's law. So this is how the Stefan Boltzmann's look like. So Q, that is a radiative heat transfer. This is emissivity, area, Stefan Boltzmann's constant, and temperature is to 4, surface temperature which is emitting the heat, and this is a surrounding temperature. So this is basically a radiative heat transfer. So here in this case, the duster or chalk basically moves from this place to this place without any molecules, without any substance heat in the form of say electromagnetic wave or say photon. It moves from one place to another place. So this is how we can see convection, conduction and radiation. So from the flame, whatever the heat which transmits to our hand, that is basically a radiation. So without any contact, we get a radiation or heat penetrating into this our hand. Whereas this is a conduction, which is a contact type heat transfer. And inside the water or say fluid, the heat transfer from this bottom of the pan into this bulk of the fluid, that is by convection. Say the water molecules adjacent to this bottom surface, they receive the heat and they rise above. So they moves here by taking heat and transfer to this colder place. So that is basically called as a convective heat transfer. Thank you so much.